Peace and love, all of the above. All right. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys something very, very personal for me. During one of my meditations, I journeyed to a place called the lower world. And if you're not sure what that is, I would suggest actually looking that up. Go ahead and Googling that. But it's basically in shamanism, there's three planes. There's the upper world, which contains like the heavens and planets and stuff like that. And there's the middle, which is the one we reside in, and you can actually travel in the past or the future within this plane. And then there's the lower world, which like spirits of the animals, fairies, leprechauns, and all that type of stuff exists there. Tree spirits, stuff like that. But during this very personal, I say again, very personal journey, I journeyed down into the lower world and succeeded in meeting my spirit animal. All right, one of my main spirit animals. And I must say this, I will be reading from an account. I wrote it down after I experienced it because I was so mind blown in what I experienced. So I want to share this with y'all, and hopefully y'all can get something out of it. All right, here we go. All right. Last night I meditated. I slid down a tree. All right, and as I reached the bottom, the ground opened up. Okay. But somehow I continued down that same tree. So the ground was no more, and I slid down a tree that just kept going down and down and down. As I reached the bottom, I stood there for a little, and then I sat down at the base of the tree. Okay. I stood there for a few minutes. I sat there for a few minutes, and as I sat there, I noticed the approach of a few animals actually. I never really knew what they were. It was kind of like rodent-like creatures, like running towards me. They actually ran past me. It was like 6 of them or something, and ran right past me. So I'm like, what's going on here? But okay, they fled as something powerful approached. Like extremely powerful. Like it was very overwhelming sense of power. Like it was very overwhelming for me as this animal approached. Something that I knew from a previous meditation approached. Now, as it moved closer, I heard it growling. Once again, the power was immense. it was almost it was very, very overwhelming energy coming from this creature. And even before I knew what it was, I actually spoke before I even knew, before it growled or anything, before I spoke out, because I knew it was there. I could feel its energy there, right? So but it overwhelmed me for a brief moment, but there was no fear present. Deep down I knew this powerful animal. So deep down I knew what it was. It was my personal power. All right. And as it approached, mind you, I'm in like a forest or a jungle or something, like the tree canopies. It was pretty dark, but the moonlight was shining down. And as it approached me, when the moonlight hit it, it was black. But when the moonlight hit it, its coat shined a purple hue. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. And majestic. All right. It was my personal power. That purple panther. I humbly ask, even though I already knew the answer, are you my spirit animal? There was no reply. She approached me, and yes, it's a female. Yes, it's a female. While still at the base of the tree, I sat there, and she sat beside me. Okay? She sat beside me. We both sat there for what seemed like hours. I was at awe at the sheer power of this animal. It was breathtaking. Breathtaking. Like the energy of this creature was literally pushing oxygen out of me. Like, it was breathtaking. And I mean that in a literal sense. Okay? So I just sat there and soaked it all in. Its beautiful coat glistened in the bright moonlight that pierced through the trees. All of a sudden, I felt our bodies become one. Yeah, one. I felt our bodies become one. The great wit, power, and unconquerable nature was mine to begin with. I felt another jolt of oneness as our bodies completely synced. Together then, sync together, then poof, like lightning, galloping through the forest, the moon shining bright, breathing the energy in as I go. As an incredible sensation of bliss overtakes me, I shoot up a tree, flip backwards, flip back towards the path I had just came. I make it back to the tree. As I sit down, I feel my body separating from her. Then once more, we sat there beside of each other under the world tree. At this moment, I had gotten a taste of my personal power. All right? The side of me that answers to no one. I thanked her for the experience and started to climb back up the massive tree. When I reached the top, I was right back in my living room. I thanked the queen of the little world once more, across my arms, across my chest, and retained everything I had gained during my journey. During this journey, I had gotten a taste of my true power, but in the end, I was not ready to accept it as my own in due time. Now, you guys probably don't even realize how personal this story is for me. I think I've only told maybe like 2 people about this. It's a very personal story, and I'm sharing it with y'all right now. And man, it's bringing back some serious memories of that night, and it really blew me away how everything was laid out, how everything happened. And to this day, I've had a relationship with this particular spirit animal, which name I will not disclose. But this animal is a part of me. All right. And I didn't realize at that time, but later on, as I reflected on the journey itself, I realized that the reason the spirit animal would not speak to me was, or acknowledge me, was because I wouldn't acknowledge her, or I wouldn't acknowledge myself, a part of myself. And that's a deep one, because I failed to acknowledge who I am. She wouldn't acknowledge me neither. I failed to acknowledge her or myself, so she wouldn't acknowledge me. She wouldn't speak to me. Later on she would, but at that point in time she wouldn't. And I didn't realize it until later. But there's a few things I want to go over. Alright. The panther is a symbol of your shadow self. Now, this is not an evil side or a good side or anything like that. Once again, there's no good or no evil. But your shadow self it basically represents the side of yourself which you hide from the world. The side of yourself that's not illuminated by the daylight of everyday life. The part of you that you hide away. That's your shadow self, your shadow side. And that's what she represented. And since I didn't acknowledge my shadow side, my shadow self, she wouldn't acknowledge me. That's deep. But once again, here we go. She represents the parts of me that I repressed and hid from the world, as I just said. There was a lot of benefits to that journey. One of them is discovering my spirit animal has taught me a lot about myself. Okay? It created like an instantaneous balance within my life. Even though she didn't acknowledge me, she felt comfortable enough with me to merge with my soul energy, with my energy. And it created like an instantaneous balance. Like I felt like I was finally who I was supposed to be, who I'm supposed to be, who the Creator put me here to be in that very moment. Okay? By becoming one with the Panther Spirit, I regained my personal power and achieved a sense of self-worth. After that point, I didn't look at myself the same. I definitely didn't look at myself in the same light. I was definitely more confident. And as I just said, my self-worth was off the charts at that point in time. I didn't let people run over me anymore. And I started making my own choices for my life. Alright. By meeting and merging with my Panther Spirit animal, I acknowledge who I really am and receive the taste of my true power. We all have power within us. Okay? An immense power within us. But through our day-to-day lives, it's repressed and ultimately never acknowledged. I want all of you to look within yourself and acknowledge who you really are. You will be better for it, and the world around you will be better for you being who you're supposed to be, who you really are. And that's ultimately what I want y'all to get out of this very personal experience that I'm sharing with you. Okay? Alright? Click that purple panther. And now y'all know where the purple panther came from. But click the purple panther, and I'm going to catch y'all on my next video. Peace.